Swastiastu. Hello everyone. So today I would like to tell you our presentations about incorporating local cultures in English teaching material for undergraduate students. So this article from Igusti Agung Wijaya Mahardika, Balinese Language Education Department, Institut Hindu Dharma Negeri Denpasar. So before that, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Kadek Ria Cahyani. You can call me Ria, and I'm from class A1 Denpasar. So for the first material is introduction. So for the background of this study is teaching materials are the integral part of the teachings and learning process to improve student assessment and motivation in learning. So these teachings focus on learning from teachers' counter to students' counters. To provide good teaching materials, one way to provide sufficient space for students to develop and build the natures of independence learning for the students. And then the next is the teacher must be able to start from the students and be able to capture the needs of students with the aim of getting good material results. So, teaching material must be able to pay attention to students' cultures and backgrounds because language is an internal part of cultures. So, local cultures can be very helpful in teaching English to students. And then, Denpasar Hindu Dharma Institute or HIHDN is a state university under the Ministry of Religion of Republic of Indonesia. One of the main aims of the university is to train and educate future teachers of the Hinduism. So, Hindu teachers are trained and educated by Department of Hindu Education about HED. So this is apex to be able to teach English students using HED. And then, so HED English teaching has several problems that must be resolved by the lecturers. Namely, the first is the special natures of the students. In this case, students need teaching material that can be equipped them in the process of the learning English and learning resilience. And then the second one is the English learning material is considered heavy. So in this case, English is considered are burdensome material for students. So this is supported by the absence of listening activities and lack for the practice speaking to students. So the last one is the condition of the student themselves. So in this case, the message of the student very influential in the learning process. So it's found that they consider it unnecessary to learn English. So these conditions cause the research to want to develop teaching material to increase student desire to learn English. So the next is method. So this study used a simple development research for present of the idea development model by Dick and Craig. The object of this research is to develop English language teaching material to students in the Hinduism Education Department of HDN Denpasar. The study used of 82 students from the first semester of HED A1 and HED 1B of the Denpasar campus are researched the subject. Data was collected through file testing. Namely, students were asked to fill out questionnaire, then create out observation and interview. So, interview results will be presented in tabular form and in person. So, the next is a result and discussion. So, there are four developing material. So, for the first is a blueprint phase, drafting phase, draft testing phase, and then the last one is final production phase. So For the first is a blueprint phase. So this phase aims to observe the learning process and exciting material to identify weakness in the existing material. And the second one is the draft, drafting phase. In this phase, the weakness obtained from the existing material are then developed into new material. New material is written by observing blueprint, then the material will be referred to an English language expert for review. So the the third one is draft testing phase. So draft testing phase is a phase that material will be given criticism and suggestion by linguistic, and then the criticisms and suggestions are used to improve the teaching's materials. And then the last is the final production phase. So in this phase, students are asked to provide criticism and suggestions for the material. Then it will be used to revise that material. So the result of the final production phase are English material that are ready to be used for the student majoring in Hindu religions education. So the next part is there are three weaknesses in the blueprint phase. Namely, for the first is a material topic that are considered too boring to students. So in this case, the reading text material was found to be too difficult for the student level of understanding. And then the second one is the difficult level. 88% of students consider the material to be very difficult. So it was found that there were too many long texts using a foreign language or vocabulary such as Sanskrit. And then the last one is layout and presentation of the material. So student considers the material become boring because the material contains more structural exercise and the material is printed with few features and only black and white colors. So the solution to overcome this weakness is that the researcher decide to use material that is culturally familiar to students. Then as the as for the source of reading text used by research, namely newspaper article, official briefing from Hindu Indonesia Dharma Parisada, or we can call PHDI, internet articles provided by travel agents, as well as material from Hindu textbooks. The text selected by research based on the cultures are the first is Balinese Hindu goods, Balinese offerings, Balinese temple, or we can call Basake temple, traditional huting ceremony in Bali, or we can call Matata, secrets of Mount Agung, Balinese marriage, and then Galungan and Kuningan, and the last one is Nyepi. So, after a lengthy process of revisions and rewriting, the new material was then subject to full testing. The students were asked to review the new textbooks while studying with them. Students were also asked to fill out questionnaires about the material. Data from the questionnaire were regulated through observations and interviews. So you can see in the table below. So this is a result of the questionnaire. So for the first question, is this material more interesting than the existing material? So the strongly agree is 77%, and then disagree is 1%. And then this material is easier to understand the existing material. For the strongly agree is 68%, and then for disagree 0%. So the third question is, this material is more fun to learn than the existing material. For the strongly agree is 72%, and about disagree is 1%. And then the next is that this material helped me learn English better than the existing material. The strongly agree is 85%. For disagree is 0%. And the last one, I prefer to study English using this material than the existing material. For the strongly agree is 91%, and for disagree is 0%. So, um, so it can be concluded that more students like new material than existing material. There are some students who also like the old material due to the the level of difficulty, pleasure and learning, material context, and overall references. So the next is, there is such result can conclude that the first is that the most vital factors in developing material in the needs of students. So in this case, material that corresponds directly to this need to be will ultimately be of the benefits of students. With appropriate teaching material, students will be motivated to study well because they will realize that they are studying not from exam or grade. So, but rather than game or mastery skills, the result of this study are similar to the result of Harsono 2007 and are aligned with the result conclusion of Rockman and Yulianti 2010. So the next is student like new material more the existing material. So familiar material is aligned with the material that is owned by students. Previous knowledge and the results of this study are similar but to research by Florentino 2014. And then in this study, it was explained that local cultures play an important role in increasing student involvement in learning. So the last is conclusion. So the conclusion of this study is that combining local culture with a new material, so it can help students learn English. The result of this study confirms that culturally familiar material will help students learn a foreign language. So, for the suggestion for the other research, namely asking an awareness of the material that are familiar with cultures, comparing the material that are less culturally familiar in teaching English and different levels of learning. So, I think that's all for me about my presentation. Thank you for your watching and see you.